what I thought we'd talk about first is there's a bit of a new revelation, rather, with the Titanic. They have been able to scan it, basically create a digital copy of the wreckage of the Titanic at the bottom of the seabed. And it is really detailed. In one of the images that's been compiled, you can actually see the serial number of one of the propellers on it, which is so cool. I think it's made up of like almost 750 or over 715,000 images. So it's like a digital scan of it. It looks really cool. I'll play the video and talk about the article. But after that, we will go into the depths of hell with the creatures in the deep sea.
With the Titanic, did it split in half, or is that now found to be false?
I don't know if it necessarily split in half. I think there was definitely a bit that kind of separate or split, but I don't think it was like in half.
Yeah, it did, apparently I read an article with like a survivor, and it did go up. You know, like in the movie, it did actually raise like that. But like I say, I don't think it's split in half. I think as maybe the water got into like the front bit, and then which would cause the lift. But yeah, it did. I don't know whether it went as high as it did in the movie, but this guy who was on there, survivor, he was like he jumped off the back and just missed one of the propellers.
Oh wow,
mate! That bit in the film where the guy falls off the back and then he just absolutely canes it off the propeller. 10 out of 10. I mean, it's a good film. It is a good film. There's parts of it where I like switch off, but the disaster part, I'm like, yes, this is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll put the video up on screen, and I'll give it a watch. So this is the scan of it.
Fucking hell!
It's really detailed.
Oh wow! The imagery will reveal groundbreaking details about the Titanic's last few hours. Look at that.
Jesus. I mean, the fact it's like landed that way as well, like pretty much. Upright.
I'll put
it looks quite modern there, doesn't it, when you look at obviously like the shape.
Yeah. But where's the one of the propeller? Ah, there it is. You can see like in the middle there is like a number. You can see part of the serial number of the propeller, which is cool.
That's insane.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's interesting though they've got that technology that they could obviously potentially like scan loads of areas down there, you know, like treasure and stuff.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I mean I don't know what processes you use, but it takes away the visibility issues, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. How deep? How far down is the Titanic?
It is 3,800 meters.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's
that's a real deep part of the sea. Then
that's a long way down.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put those pictures up. I'll scroll through because there's a few more images, but I'll put these images up whilst I'll just read out the article. The first ever full-size digital replica of the Titanic has been created, and experts say it could be used to unlock secrets of the world's most famous shipwreck. Scientists have created what they have labelled a digital twin of the passenger liner, which sank into the Atlantic in 1912 after hitting an iceberg while on its maiden voyage from Southampton to New York. Southampton, know what that sinking feeling feels like. Sorry about that. Slight dig. About 1,500 people died in the sinking, which remains one of the biggest shipping disasters in world history. The digital twin of the shipwreck was created using deep-sea mapping of the real Titanic, which lies 3,800 metres or 12,500 feet down in the Atlantic. It is so detailed that even a serial number on the blade of one of the ship's propellers can be made out in the 3D images, which was the one I showed you a minute ago. And experts believe the digital replica could be used by scientists to work out new details about how the passenger liner sank. Park Stephenson, a Titanic expert who has studied the ship for the last 20 years, described the project as a true game changer. What we are seeing for the first time is an accurate and true depiction of the entire wreck and debris site, he said. I'm seeing details that none of us have ever seen before, and this allows me to build upon everything that we have learned to date and see the wreck in a new light. We've got actual data that engineers can take to examine the true mechanics behind the breakup and the sinking, and thereby get even closer to the story of the Titanic disaster. For the next generation of Titanic exploration, research and analysis, this is the beginning of a new chapter. The digital twin was created by deepwater specialist Magellan using more than 715,000 images and full 4K video footage of the wreck, which were taken using 2 submarines named Romeo and Juliet.
Nice.
Great names for them. The submarines mapped every millimetre of the wreck, which split into 2 parts as it sank, so it did split into 2 parts. They also mapped a 3-mile debris field surrounding the wreck. Previous optical images of the ship had been limited by low light levels and often poor water quality around the wreckage. Magellan's Gerhard Seifert, who led the planning for the expedition, said the company's digital twin provides a highly accurate photorealistic 3D model of the wreck. This model will allow people to zoom out and take a look at the entire thing for the first time, he said. So by capturing this 3D model, what we're able to do is visualize the wreck in a completely new way. There's all kinds of amazing small details that you can see. This is the Titanic as no one had ever seen it before. Richard Parkinson, founder of Magellan, described the results of his team's project as astonishing. Over the course of the Titanic's project, the volume of data that we have acquired was enormous. Around 715,000 images and some 16 terabytes of data, he said. We believe that this data is approximately 10 times larger than any underwater 3D model that's ever been attempted before. Which is crazy.
So where's the back half?
There you go.
Oh, what? Yeah, so where's the rear? Or does it just break off into bits of debris in the 3-mile radius?
Let me see if I can see a bigger picture of it. Is that? I think this is the front this side, I believe.
Because they've got the propeller, haven't they? So it's like, oh yeah, maybe that just broke down towards the back. The front looks alright.
But that is absolutely incredible. But if they could get that close, can they not go inside and map a bit of the inside?
I'd imagine they probably. I don't know how big the submarines were. To be fair,
yeah,
you imagine they'd be able to at some point get inside and map the inside.
Yeah, as the technology gets smaller.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just
that is
so
phenomenal.
Cool. When I first saw the image, I was like, no, that's an artist's drawing. It's got to be.
Yeah.
And then obviously I read into it further. They've actually just got 2 submarines and did the scans, which is cool.
Yeah.
My dad's got a really cool picture from a guy who we used to work for called Beacon of Cows, and on the Isle of Wight, he lived in Cows. So, but his dad went out on a boat and took the picture of the boat leaving Southampton.
Really?
Oh, wow.
It's like it's an actual picture of the boat leaving. Yeah, it's cool. I think it's at my dad's house. So I have to get a picture of it. Super cool.
Wow,
that's cool.
It's just mad seeing it on the water. Just like obviously that was, he was there and saw it and took a picture.
Yeah, there was what was it? Because I did it. Oh, actually, no. The video goes out tonight on Facebook. Did a video, photos taken just before tragic moments, and one that it'll probably be in part 2. It's not in part 1. But there was a photograph. It was like a photograph of the Titanic, but it was taken from another boat that was on the water. So it was like, and it's thought to be one of the last images taken just before the iceberg.
Wow.
Ah, right, interesting.
Yeah. But
yeah, I always think that it's mad. Like I look at that picture and I'm like, all those people on there.
Yeah.
Like, and he's and that. Obviously, you've got a connection because you kind of the person or know the person that took the picture. And it's like, if only you knew.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
Cool picture.
Yeah.
I think
I read.
Go ahead.
That,
sorry.
like, how many people survived. 'Cause I think it was over 1,000.
Mm.
Oh no, 706. Yeah, so there's 2,240 passengers and crew, and 706 people survived.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's not a great ratio, is it? What's that, 30% ratio or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As of today, there are no. Yeah, and then the final Titanic survivor passed away in 2009. I think was a 2-month-old baby on
Right,
the
jeez.
Titanic. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I know what you're saying. 100%, like it's only 100%. It's only 30%. But I know what you're saying. But at the same time, like it must have been not. It must have been like quite a slow, not a
Yeah.
slow process, but for 700 of them to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
off
Yeah.
and survive, you know.
If
But
they-
isn't that
if the film's anything to go by, like a lot of them were the richer
yeah,
type because
Yeah.
they gave
the
priority,
rich, the
didn't
women,
they,
and the
to
children.
yeah.
Yeah, but there was a guy, a Japanese man. He it was like one of the last lifeboats, and like basically all the women and children had got off at this point, and so there was a space for him, so he got on, and he survived, and for the rest of his life in Japan, he was treated as just like the most dishonorable man
Yeah.
that's ever
Oh, really?
lived, because he even
Yeah.
though it was like the
The
space
space.
was there, I could just get on it, like. But yeah, up until the day he died, he was treated as a dishonorable person, which is tragic. You fucking survived the Titanic.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
It's
You
almost
know.
like people think, well, you should have just sacrificed yourself. You should have died.
Yeah,
Like, you shouldn't be alive.
yeah, it's crazy.